Your person was involved with someone else, but now, don't make mistake. My beloved child, stop everything for a moment, because what I'm about to reveal is something the universe has been quietly holding back from you, a hidden truth that only now is ready to unfold. You may have felt confusion, doubt, or even heartbreak lately, as if life was testing your soul. But know this: every experience you've endured has been part of a higher design, a sacred timing that your heart could not yet understand. There is something important you need to hear right now, a revelation that could shift the course of your destiny. Listen closely, because the universe is speaking to you through these words. Your person was involved with someone else, but now, don't make mistake. Pause for a moment and let that sink in. The energies surrounding your relationships, your deepest connections, and the very love you are destined to receive are not random. There is a hidden alignment at work, forces orchestrating events, people, and choices, so that the truth emerges exactly when your soul is ready. This is not about judgment, regret, or anger. This is about awakening to clarity, seeing beyond the veil of what seemed impossible, and stepping into the life you were always meant to embrace. Perhaps you felt the tug of uncertainty, the whispers of "what if" in your mind. That's your inner spirit urging you to pay attention to the signs, to honor your worth, and to recognize the sacred timing of love's return. The universe is guiding you to make choices with wisdom, not fear. It's revealing what was hidden, illuminating the path where forgiveness, understanding, and divine purpose intersect. Imagine the weight lifting from your heart as this hidden truth comes to light. Imagine knowing that every moment of doubt or waiting was a preparation for this very clarity. You are being reminded now that your love, your joy, and your peace are waiting, not in the past, not in what could have been, but in the divine unfolding of this moment. So breathe, feel, and trust. The guidance you need is here. The lessons you were meant to learn are revealed. And the path before you, though once clouded, is now radiant with possibility. This is your sacred call to embrace what is coming with courage, grace, and faith. If this message resonates with you, if you feel the energy of hidden truths awakening inside your heart, then stay with us, because there is more to uncover. Watch this complete video to feel the full revelation, understand the deeper wisdom of your journey, and step into the clarity you were always destined for. And as you do, remember to like, share, and subscribe so that these divine messages can continue to guide you and others along their sacred paths. Your awakening starts here. Don't let this moment pass unnoticed. Dear one, before we dive in, I need to share something extraordinary that most people don't know. Groundbreaking research shows that many of us who didn't grow up wealthy have a shrunken hippocampus, a tiny part of the brain that blocks the activation of what some scientists call the billionaire brain wave. This means attracting the life, love, or wealth you've always dreamed of can feel almost impossible. Until now. Thanks to a recently uncovered method backed by research, it's possible to stimulate this part of your brain in just 7 minutes each morning using a simple sound frequency. People who've tried it report subtle shifts in mindset, clarity, and even opportunities flowing into their lives more easily. Click the link in the description or pinned comment to explore this 7-second ritual. It could be the key to activating your billionaire brainwave and opening doors you never thought possible. Listen closely, my child. I am speaking to you in this quiet moment not by accident, not by chance, and not because you were merely curious. You were guided here. Your heart has been heavy, your thoughts restless, and your spirit has been asking questions you haven't spoken out loud. I have seen the nights when you replayed memories, the moments when hope tried to rise but fear pushed it back down. I know what you saw, what you felt, and what you were told. And yes, your person was involved with someone else. That truth shook you. But do not let that single chapter convince you that the entire story is already written. I need you to understand something sacred. I see beyond what your eyes can perceive. Where you saw betrayal, confusion, or delay, I saw lessons unfolding. Where you felt replaced, forgotten, or second best, I saw a soul learning through contrast. Do not assume that what happened was meant to destroy you. Some experiences are permitted not to remove you from destiny, but to refine the people involved so they are capable of honoring it. Still, hear me clearly, this does not mean every return is a blessing, and not every reconnection is alignment. This is why I am speaking now. This is where many make the mistake. You have been standing at a crossroads without realizing it. One path is guided by healing, wisdom, and truth. The other is driven by longing, nostalgia, and unhealed wounds. Your person has walked through confusion, temptation, and emotional noise. They learned what absence feels like. They discovered that not everything shiny carries peace. Yet learning a lesson does not automatically make someone ready to walk correctly. This is why discernment matters more than desire. I'm not asking you to shut your heart. I'm asking you to guard it with wisdom. Do not romanticize what broke you. Do not rush to reopen doors simply because someone knocks with regret in their voice. Growth is not proven by words, apologies, or sudden clarity. It is proven by consistency, humility, and changed patterns. I am watching how you respond now because this moment is shaping your future more than the past ever could. If you react from fear of loss, you will repeat cycles. If you respond from self-worth, you will elevate your destiny. I know you wonder if they think about you. I know you feel the pull, the familiar energy, the sense that something unfinished still lingers. Yes, there is reflection happening. Yes, there is awareness forming. But reflection alone is not transformation. Awareness without accountability leads right back to pain. This is why you must not confuse attention with intention or emotion with readiness. I'm not telling you to reject them. I'm telling you not to abandon yourself. There was a time when you would have accepted less just to keep the connection alive. You would have silenced your intuition just to avoid being alone. But you are not that version of yourself anymore. I allowed the separation to strengthen you, not to soften your boundaries. I allowed the distance to reveal your value, not to make you chase validation. If they return, they must meet you where you are now, not where you used to be. Pay attention to what is being shown, not what is being promised. I speak through patterns, not pressure. I speak through peace, not confusion. If their presence brings chaos, urgency, or emotional instability, that is not me pushing you forward. That is a test asking whether you have learned to pause. You do not need to prove your worth by accepting uncertainty. You do not need to compete with anyone for love that is meant to be secure. Do not let loneliness rewrite your standards. Do not let history outweigh truth. What is meant for you will not require you to shrink, overextend, or second-guess your value. And what returns without responsibility is not a reward. It is a repetition. You asked me for clarity, and clarity does not always sound like what the heart wants to hear. Sometimes clarity sounds like stillness. Sometimes it sounds like patience. Sometimes it sounds like not yet. Your person's involvement with someone else was not to humiliate you. It exposed what they were not ready to give you at that time. And readiness is not proven by missing you, it is proven by choosing differently. Watch what they do when no one is watching. Watch how they handle time, truth, and respect. Let actions speak where words once confused you. I am protecting you even when it doesn't feel like it. I am delaying you even when you want answers now. I am teaching you to trust the quiet guidance instead of emotional urgency. If something is truly aligned, it will not require you to abandon your peace to obtain it. Love that is meant to stay will arrive with clarity, not secrecy, with stability, not anxiety. This is the moment many people fail themselves, not because they love too deeply, but because they forget their worth the moment familiarity returns. Do not repeat that pattern. You have grown. You have healed. You have learned to hear my voice instead of drowning it out with hope alone. If they come back unchanged, that is information. If they come back transformed, that will show in how they honor you without being asked. Remember this: I do not remove something from your life to punish you. I remove it to realign you. And if I allow it to return, it is not automatically permission. It is an invitation for discernment. You are not being tested to see how much pain you can tolerate. You are being tested to see how much truth you can honor. So pause, breathe, watch, pray. Do not make a permanent decision based on temporary emotion. Do not hand your heart to uncertainty simply because it feels familiar. And do not confuse my silence with absence. I am working in ways you cannot yet see. Because what happens next depends not on what they choose, but on what you choose when the moment arrives, when the door opens again, when the past reaches for you with new words but familiar energy, and when your spirit must decide whether to step forward in wisdom or step backward into what once felt safe but was never whole. And this is where I need you to listen even more closely, because the next sign, the next shift, the next truth I am about to reveal will change how you see this connection entirely, and it begins when you finally realize that the mistake was never loving them, it was forgetting who you became after everything you survived, and what I am about to ask of you next is more than you have ever been asked before. I am asking you to trust not what feels intense, but what feels true. Intensity fades quickly. Truth remains steady even when emotions rise and fall. You have mistaken emotional pull for divine confirmation in the past, and I do not condemn you for that. You were learning. But now you are wiser, and wisdom carries responsibility. This moment is not about whether your person chooses you. It is about whether you choose alignment over attachment. Hear me clearly now, because this is where the veil begins to lift. There are connections that awaken you, and there are connections that anchor you. Not everything that awakens you is meant to stay, and not everything that leaves is meant to be reclaimed. Your person entered your life to activate something within you: self-respect, depth, emotional awareness, spiritual sensitivity. But activation is not the same as assignment. Some people are catalysts, not companions. If you confuse the two, you will keep waiting for someone to become who they were never meant to be for you. I allowed you to see them with someone else not to wound your spirit, but to show you what you would never accept again. That pain sharpened your discernment. It taught you what your soul refuses to negotiate. Do not betray that wisdom now just because familiarity whispers sweet things to your heart. Familiarity is persuasive, but it is not prophetic. Your silence during separation was not weakness, it was strength. Your restraint was not loss, it was preparation. While you were healing, something inside you was recalibrating. Your standards elevated quietly. Your intuition matured. You learned the difference between longing and loneliness, between love and attachment, between patience and self-abandonment. This growth was not accidental. It was required for what comes next. Your person senses the shift. They feel the distance not just physically but energetically. When someone can no longer access you the way they once did, it awakens regret. But regret alone does not equal readiness. Many return because they fear loss, not because they have learned how to love correctly. This is why I caution you, do not be moved by urgency. Urgency often comes from fear, not clarity. I see you asking me for signs. You are watching numbers, dreams, coincidences, and messages. Understand this. Signs are confirmations, not instructions. They tell you that I am present, not that you should rush. You still must choose with wisdom. I will never override your free will, but I will whisper through peace when something is right and through discomfort when something is misaligned. If they reach out, notice how your body responds. Does your chest tighten or relax? Does your spirit feel grounded or anxious? I speak through your nervous system as much as through your thoughts. Peace is not boring, it is sacred. Chaos is not passion, it is a warning. You no longer need fireworks to feel alive. You need safety to feel whole. Do not confuse unfinished business with unfinished destiny. Some chapters feel incomplete because they were meant to teach, not continue. Closure does not always come through reunion. Sometimes closure comes through understanding why it could not go further without costing you yourself. I know you fear missing out on what could be. But hear this truth. What is truly meant for you cannot miss you. It will meet you in clarity, not confusion. It will honor your growth, not test your tolerance. It will not require you to compete with the past or prove your worth through patience alone. You have reached a level where love must meet you at your maturity, not your memories. If someone cannot sustain the version of you that has healed, they do not deserve access to the version of you that once waited. You are not here to rehabilitate potential. You are here to receive reciprocity. There is a divine pause happening right now. It may feel like nothing is moving, but everything is aligning. I am positioning you so that when the decision comes, you will not be blinded by emotion. You will see clearly. And clarity is power. Let me tell you something you have not wanted to admit to yourself. Part of you is afraid to move forward because forward requires releasing the identity you built around waiting. Waiting became familiar. Hoping became routine. But you were not created to live in anticipation of someone else's readiness. You were created to expand, to be met, to be chosen without hesitation. Your person's involvement with someone else revealed their state of consciousness at that time. Do not rewrite history to soften the truth. Compassion does not require amnesia. Forgiveness does not require access. You can wish them growth without inviting them back into sacred space prematurely. I'm not asking you to close your heart. I'm asking you to open your eyes. If they return with humility, patience, and a willingness to rebuild slowly, that is something to observe, not immediately accept. If they rush you, pressure you, or bypass accountability, that is your answer. Love that is aligned respects timing and healing. It does not demand instant trust. You have been praying for clarity, and clarity is arriving in layers. First through reflection, then through observation, then through choice. This is not a test of loyalty to another person. This is a test of loyalty to yourself and to me. Do you trust that I can bring you something better if this is not it? Do you trust that you do not need to cling to what once hurt you to avoid emptiness? Do you trust that your future does not depend on someone else's realization? These questions are not meant to scare you. They are meant to free you. You are no longer the person who waits in uncertainty. You are becoming the person who attracts clarity. That shift changes everything. It changes who approaches you, who stays, and who falls away. Some will feel drawn to you only when they sense they are losing access. Do not let that be the reason you reopen doors. There is a higher form of love approaching your life, whether through this person transformed or through someone entirely new. But it cannot enter while you are emotionally anchored to what was. This is why discernment now is critical. This is why rushing would be the mistake. You may feel torn between faith and fear. Faith whispers, "Trust me." Fear whispers, "What if this is your only chance?" Fear is loud, dramatic, and urgent. Faith is calm, steady, and patient. Learn to recognize the difference. I am not finished with this message, and I am not finished with you. What comes next will require courage, not to hold on, but to stand still without grasping. Stillness is not stagnation. Stillness is strength under control. Watch what unfolds next. Watch what is revealed without you forcing it. Truth always surfaces when you stop chasing answers. And when the next sign appears, when the next conversation happens, when the next choice presents itself, you will need to remember everything I have told you here, because the temptation will not look like danger. It will look like familiarity wrapped in hope. And this is where many souls stumble, because they confuse comfort with calling and affection with alignment. And the next thing I am about to show you will make you question everything you thought you wanted, because it will reveal not just who they are now, but who you are becoming. And once you see that clearly, there will be no turning back, only a decision that reshapes your path in ways you cannot yet imagine. And before you take that step, I need you to understand one final truth that I have been waiting for you to be ready to hear. And it begins with this: connection was never meant to cost you your peace. Hear me now with a still heart, because what I am about to say completes what you have been sensing all along. Love that is aligned with me does not leave you guessing where you stand. It does not arrive wrapped in confusion, secrecy, or emotional exhaustion. It does not ask you to wait in uncertainty while calling it patience. Patience is calm. Confusion is not. And you have felt the difference even when you tried to ignore it. There was a time when you would have taken crumbs and called it hope. You would have accepted mixed signals and named them faith. But that season is complete. I have not brought you this far just to bring you back to what you already outgrew. Growth does not reverse itself. Expansion does not beg to shrink. And you, my child, have expanded in ways you do not fully recognize yet. I allowed you to love deeply so you would learn devotion. I allowed you to lose so you would learn detachment. I allowed you to wait so you would learn self-respect. None of this was wasted. The connection you are questioning taught you how to feel, how to open, how to care without armor. But now you are learning how to choose wisely, how to protect what is sacred, how to love without abandoning yourself. This is a higher lesson, and it requires a higher standard. Do not confuse someone realizing your value with someone being capable of honoring it. Realization often comes after loss, but honor requires maturity. If they truly see you now, they will not rush you. They will not pressure you. They will not demand immediate access to your heart. They will respect the space your healing created and move slowly, intentionally, and consistently. Anything less is not alignment. It is desire mixed with regret. You are not wrong for still caring. You are not weak for feeling the pull. Love does not disappear just because wisdom arrives. But wisdom teaches you how to hold love without letting it control you. You can acknowledge the feeling without surrendering your future to it. I want you to understand something important. The version of you who was hurt is no longer in charge. The version of you who knows better is. Let that version speak. Let that version decide. You no longer need to be rescued from loneliness. You have learned how to sit with yourself and remain whole. That is power. If this person is meant to walk forward with you, they will meet you in that power, not try to pull you back into who you used to be. They will rise, not resist. They will listen, not argue. They will show up, not disappear. And you will not have to decode their behavior to feel secure. Love that is true does not require translation. I have been preparing you for something stable, something clear, something that feels like exhaling instead of holding your breath. Whether that comes through this person transformed or through someone new entirely is not for you to force. It is for you to allow. Your role is not to chase outcomes. Your role is to remain aligned. Release the need to control the ending. Endings guided by me are gentle even when they are firm. They do not leave you shattered. They leave you wiser. And beginnings guided by me feel familiar in the soul, not dramatic in the mind. There is a love ahead that will not trigger your anxiety. There is a connection ahead that will not compete with your peace. There is a partnership ahead that will not require you to wait for readiness. But it cannot arrive while you are still emotionally negotiating with the past. Bless what was. Learn from it. Release it into my hands. You do not need to slam doors. Simply stop standing in the doorway. Choose presence over possibility. Choose truth over fantasy. Choose growth over repetition. I know it feels risky to let go of what once mattered so deeply. But trust me, what is meant for you will feel deeper and safer. It will not awaken your wounds to prove its intensity. It will soothe them to prove its sincerity. From this moment forward, let your decisions be rooted in peace, not pressure. Let your boundaries be expressions of love for yourself, not punishments for others. Let your faith be quiet and strong, not desperate and loud. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be to choose differently. And now, my child, the message is complete. Go forward without fear. Trust what feels steady. Honor who you have become. I am with you, always. Amen.